So yesterday we have seen very important aspects with regard to environment. So what we have learned yesterday? Anything you remember? Vayu device, wind augmentation and so you have not gone through? At least one times you have to do revision of it. Purifying unit. So what does it do? What is the use of it? Purify the air. So it will have a filtration chamber. Okay, the filtration chamber works for both pollutants, solid and gas. Solid is nothing but particulate matter. And you are also having toxic gases could also be arrested under that Vayu device. Right. And it was given by whom? CSIR and NEERI, very, very important institution. What else we have learned? Climate Smart Cities Assessment Framework. Okay, it is given by whom? Housing, Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. Within that one center is there. What is that center? A center is there, then you also have a National Institute of Housing Affairs. One center is there. What is the center? Climate Center for Cities. Climate Center for Cities, which is working under National Institute of Urban Affairs. This center, which is working under National Institute of Urban Affairs, they implement that particular program. Okay. Right. And the very first topic that we have learnt yesterday was Climate Change Performance Index, released by whom? German Watch. Okay. It also publishes another report. What is that report? Global Climate Risk Index. Okay, what is the rank of India in this Climate Change Performance Index? 10th. What is the rank here? 7th. Right. So what is the meaning of bundling scheme? Yesterday we have learned that also. Renewable plus fossil fuels will be given together to anyone who wants it. Who wants uninterrupted what? Power supply. Uninterrupted power supply. And what is the percentage of renewable that they will give? Supply? 51%. And it is coming from two renewable sources only. Solar and wind. Solar and wind. Important here is who has launched this scheme. Which institution has launched this scheme? Which ministry has launched this scheme? Ministry of New and Renewable Energy. This ministry has launched. So I have told you yesterday that they may also give you Ministry of Power. Ministry of Power, because it is talking about power, electricity, so you might think that that would be the ministry, but it is actually Ministry of New and Renewable Energy. What else we have learned yesterday? Ammonia gas leak happened in one particular central public sector enterprises. We have seen some nature of ammonia. What else we have learned? Solar tree, very, very good. Largest solar tree. So where we have established that? Durgapur, West Bengal. So what is the benefit of this solar tree when compared to roof mounted solar panels? Okay, so you can adjust this. You can adjust this solar tree so that you can face the sunlight directly. So you can have the maximum intensity of insolation on the solar panels, which this flexibility is not available to the rooftop solar. Okay, what else you have learned? Hydrogen fuel, right? Okay, hydrogen fuel. So what is the process that happen here in hydrogen fuel? Oxidation process. And what is that happen during oxidation? Means what converts into what? Chemical energy will be converted into what? Electrical energy. And I have told you that this hydrogen fuel cells should require continuous fueling of hydrogen or not required? Required, otherwise it will stop. And hydrogen, you know, that considered as the future fuel also. Right. So what else we have learned yesterday? That's all. That's only 4 topics. Black tigers. So found. Where is this Simlipal National Park? Odisha. Right. Then we have also learnt about one MCQ we have seen with regard to freshwater lakes. Okay, how many freshwater lakes we have learnt yesterday? 3. What are those? Mansar, Dal and Koleru. Koleru is in what? Andhra Pradesh. Chilka is a brackish water lake which is in Odisha. Then Mansar and Dal lake both are in Jammu and Kashmir. Okay, what else we have learnt? Connect Karo, WRI, Connect Karo. So what is that objective of that particular campaign? So 10,000 electric buses to be rolled out by how many years? 2025, 10,000. And why? Because this is considered as a very big opportunity to give a push to electric buses. Why? Because around 1 lakh buses are fossil fuel run buses or petrol or diesel run buses. They are going to be old, like 12 years old. Okay, so at the end we have to eliminate them from the service itself. And definitely when we are eliminating the public transport, you have to bring a new, right? Population has to move from one place to another place. So you cannot just decrease it and just sit simply, right? So when you are removing this, opportunity is here where you can increase the number of electric buses. Okay, and in electric buses only we have seen there is a word called as zero carbon emission, also called as carbon neutrality. Okay, means what is this? Carbon neutrality? Carbon released, the amount of carbon which is released because of any process you are doing. Okay, the same amount you are also making some arrangement, that same amount should be also be observed. The same amount should also be observed. So that there is a, when you release and arrest. Okay, if this, when you balance out, it should come to 0. 100 molecules you have released, 100 molecules you have arrested. So 100 minus 100, 0. 100 minus 100, 0. Okay. Carbon, see, there is also a system that you can have also, that is also there in existence, I guess. Carbon credits. Carbon credit. Certificates also will be given. Carbon credits. So government can make it mandatory. Government can make it mandatory that any production unit or any manufacturing unit, minimum 20%, they have to use what? Renewables. They have to use what? Renewables. Like that the government can do. Okay. Let's suppose the 20% is nothing but 200 CO2 molecules. Means they have to decrease what? 200 CO2 molecules or not? Okay, let's suppose 20% will come to reduction of 200 CO2 molecules from one particular manufacturing unit. Now, company A successfully achieved this target and way beyond, it has able to reduce how much? 400 CO2 molecules. So, if any production unit is able to exceed the target and meet the target, whatever the excess is there with respect to standard is 200, right? The excess is what? 200 more. This 200, okay, it can sell to any company which is not able to achieve 200 target also, which is not able to achieve 200 target. So this company will be incentivized because they are doing very good, right? And this production unit, it is unable to achieve, but they can buy this one. So this is also carbon neutrality, no? Right? Because they don't have that processes, that they are not able to invest. Maybe they are having a problem with what? Investment, money problem is there. So they are not able to bring in what? New technology, which is carbon reduction technology. They are not able to do that. That's why they are not able to achieve the 20% target. Not able to achieve 200 CO2 molecules, they are unable to arrest. They are unable to reduce. But they can purchase this. They can purchase in this way. So it also becomes the same carbon neutrality or not? Okay. one is incentivizing, then it can go on and go on doing like this. If anything happens here also, no need, no worry, because they will purchase. These are called as carbon credit and we call them as certificates. They are traded. They are in foreign countries, generally they are traded. Means when government makes it mandatory that you should definitely do reduction, then they have to purchase or not. They have to purchase because they also have to show 20% reduction. They also have to, every company has to show what? 20% reduction. So they are traded and people will buy. Okay. Fine. What else we have learned yesterday? Poos are decomposers. Very, very important. Okay. What is that microorganisms here? Fungi. Fungi is there here. Okay. So fungi generally has two important. It is actually used for some other purpose, but it also gives other benefits also. It is used for, the main purpose is to avoid this stubble burning. Instead of burning, the fungi will decompose the rice straw there itself, in the field itself. But the good thing about this process is, it will again work as a fertility manure, increases fertility manure, right, to the soil itself. Okay, and helps in the increase in productivity also. Increase in productivity means per hectare more yield. Per hectare more yield. And that is how we can also increase what? Farmers' income. The last point I have written at the bottom yesterday. Right. What else you have learnt? Methane budget. Then after that, global carbon project. Then after that, yellow dust. Very, very important again, causes respiratory illness. So South Korea and North Korea are worried about this. China's and Mongolian desert soils are coming and flowing towards their countries. What else we have learned? Atmospheric ammonia, that also we have learned. That's all? Right. So we'll go ahead now. So this yesterday I have told you. Asiatic lion we have done. Brown altered deer or Shanghai. This is also over, right? Dugong also over. This is also over. Kashmiri stag also we have done. Jordan's, this is also over. This is also over. Okay. Malabar civet. So have you seen the animals that I have told you that go and watch all the animals once in the Google, because you should also know which environment they are surviving. This is very, very important. With the help of that image only you can understand whether they are in brackish water, whether they are in fresh water, whether they live in grass or whether they live in forest or in wild or in swamp, okay, or in wetlands. So you will understand the environment of that is very, very important. Okay, with the help of a image only you can understand that. It is also called as Malabar civet. It is just like a squirrel. Okay. Type of squirrel, like it looks like that, so don't exactly understand in that way. It is also called as Kanan Chandu Mangala, Kurti, Balkurti, Dodda, Punigina. It is nocturnal, it is endemic, and the important aspect is it is used in medicine and also aroma. So they are having some glands. What they are having? They are having what? Some glands. With the help of that glands, whatever the secretions are there, whatever the liquid is coming out of that glands will be useful for medicine and also could be used for the scent, perfume manufacture, aroma. And this civet is, you will find mainly in Western Ghats. Okay, Western Ghats. IUCN stated critically endangered, Schedule 1 of Wildlife Protection Act of 1972 and Site Appendix 3. In Site it has been classified as a low, okay, low endangered, not that important. Sites 3. So here highest, here maximum it is threatened, it is given, okay. Schedule 1 means again very threatened species, very, very threatened species, but CITES did not classify it as that very threatened like that. CITES, this convention did not classify. CITES. We are having conventions topic also. Many conventions are there. What are CITES? Convention on International Trade on Endangered Species. Okay, so many endangered species were traded further. You know that yesterday we have seen that horns, okay, etc., the beauty, etc. Conventions are very, very important. Right, who among the following, sorry for this, which among the following should come actually here, which among the following has released EnviStat India 2020 report? Very good. Okay, it is must be a very peculiar organization. Okay, related to what? Environment. EnviStats. Then tiger is very, very important. We should learn about tiger also. Okay, every time it will come in the news. Already 2 times the question has been asked on tiger. So 4th tiger census, means census is generally done to know the number of individuals surviving. Okay, but our census is very like elaborate census. Whatever the census we do, it's an elaborate census. There was a tricky question in the like UPSC interview where the student was asked which one of the foreign country generally conducts the largest census. Census is nothing but how many males are there, how many females are there, how many children are there, how many adults are there, how many number of population is there, how many crores of population is there, what they are doing, okay, how much they have studied, knowing the population, knowing the demographic groups, studying the demographic groups, that is only called as what? Census. Occupational structure, how many weavers are there, how many agriculturists are there, how many manual laborers are there, how many informal laborers are there, how many non-manual urban employees are there, how many main workers are there, how many UPS, usual principal status in unemployment, okay, weekly, daily status, all that is there regarding the population, right? How many BPL, how many APL? Census is knowing about the population, right? So the question was which among the following countries conducts the largest census? So very commonly China will be our answer. Why? Because China is having what? The largest population. Okay, but it was a wrong answer. Why? Because China don't conduct census at all. Okay, that's why we become what? First. Understood? That's why we become what? First. But if they conduct, definitely they will be the first. So little bit sometimes, you know, these things matters in the examination. You should not overlook it. So whatever the data, whatever the facts, whatever the things that comes into your preparation, you have to make a note of it. Please avoid selective reading. Selective reading ante means आप ही सोच लो कि ये सही है, ये गलत है. You only segregate by your own wisdom. Thus, I should not study this. Okay, I should study this only. This is my way of preparation. So this should not be the attitude. Remember this point. Okay, an aspirant should definitely concentrate on the faculty, what they are telling them, how they are guiding them. That is very, very important. That will keep you grounded. That will keep you to have a narrow resources. Resources are many, but narrow distortions. Narrow distortions. So that your path will be very, very smooth. So don't do selective reading according to your own wisdom. Generally it happens that once you join a coaching, what happens after 2 months you will become top. You will feel, everyone will feel what? मेरे से अच्छा कोई नहीं पढ़ सकता. अब इतना अच्छा पढ़ते तो फिर क्रैक ही कर दो, फिर 2-3 साल क्यों ले रहे फिर, right? So make sure that you follow whatever the advice given by all the faculties and try to work in that manner. 4th Tiger Census report. Important here is, it not only gives the status of tiger, but it also gives the status of its co-predators. Co-predators means lion also, cheetah also, co-predators. Predators means those who catch and those who hunt and eat. Okay, those are called as predators. And preys are their food, like sheep is a prey for tiger. tiger is a predator, sheep is a prey, P-R-E-Y, P-R-E-Y. So generally what we say is, if the predator is prudent, means if the predator is too efficient, it will kill all its prey and it kill himself. We say that. Okay, if the predator is what? Too efficient. Efficient here means prudent. Okay, if 100 sheep are there, if he is like very efficiently catching every sheep, etc., then the sheep will die and the predator itself will die. Okay, but the nature does not teach tigers that way. They will enjoy the sheep for a long period of time. So that is seen in microorganisms usually. So tiger senses will give the status of co-predators also, their prey population, and what about their habitat, whether the habitat is increasing or decreasing, what happened to it, how much it is destroyed, how much it is destructed, all that information will be given in this. To know this, how many number of tigers are there, we conduct a survey. That survey is done on the basis of a program called as M-Stripes. M-Stripe, monitoring system for tiger. Intensive protection and give the ecological status using GPS to geotag photo evidences and survey. Means remember this point, M-Tribes, it's a method to conduct the survey on tigers. Geotagging will be there. Okay, means geotagging is nothing but this is the area. So there the tigers is there means red mark. They target their red mark. Next year they will again watch that whether they are actually present on that marks or not. This is called as what? Geotagging. The geographical area should be tagged. Okay, this is where generally they sit. This is where they generally come to sleep, like that. That is called as geotagging. Photo evidences are also taken. Photo evidences. So cameras are there in the forest, wildlife sanctuary, that will click. With that also we will understand how many number of tigers are there, and survey is being conducted. So all of these GPS, photo evidences and survey information means when the forest officials are going into the wildlife sanctuary and how many number of tigers they are finding. So making all of these systems are making whatever data very accurate, as because we are doing in multi-dimensional way, it will definitely comes to accuracy. Another one is CATART, camera trap data repository and analysis tool. Camera will capture the tiger. So remember, M-Stripe and CATART both are related to know this the population of what tigers. Now a global tiger forum is there. It is an international collaboration of tiger bearing countries. They have set a target of doubling the tigers by 2022. They have set a target for doubling the tigers by 2022, and the good thing about it is we have already achieved. India already achieved that target of doubling the count. So we are happy that we are able to preserve the very beautiful charismatic tigers. So when compared to all the tigers around the world, a little bit GK information for you. 70% of tigers is there in our country if we compare with rest of the world. And within India, the state which is having the highest or maximum number of tigers, Madhya Pradesh. Okay, whatever the tigers we have found in the northeast, so northeast region has seen decline, means they have suffered losses in population. Okay, means you can understand that in the northeastern states, the conservation is very, very little bit lenient, you can say, negligent, you can say. That's why the tiger population in the northeast has declined. Okay. Another very important aspect is 1/3 of the tigers living outside any tiger reserve. Okay, so we are also having some protected areas. Protected areas. Remember this point, protected areas means what? Protected areas are nothing but these areas are demarcated by the government, okay, for the wildlife or for protection of any flora or fauna, and especially fauna here, especially animal protection is done. Protected areas, government will only notify and demarcate, okay, this is the protected areas. Okay, such as National Park, Kasu Brahmanand Reddy National Park. Can you go inside it? No, right? You cannot go inside it, right? No, you cannot go inside the core area. You can just go, that lane is there, no? You can move around, that is there. But you cannot go inside that core area. Buffer zone is there, no? That we are in the buffer zone. Okay. Wildlife sanctuaries, wetlands, tiger reserves. Tiger reserves. So tigers have got their own protected areas called as tiger reserve. They are not usually saved in what? National parks and wildlife sanctuaries. But here you can understand with the data whatever we are having. So 1/3 of the tigers lives outside any tiger reserves. Means if you are having 100, 33 of them will not be under tiger reserves. Means they may be in the they may be present either in a national park or a wildlife sanctuary or some other protected areas. Okay. IUCN status endangered. Wildlife Protection Act has classified the tiger in Schedule 1 highest conservation status categories. These are what? Highest conservation status categories. And CITE also has given what? Appendix 1. Means appendix is nothing but table. Okay. Where the whatever the species mentioned in that particular appendix 1, that particular species require what? Highest conservation status. Requires more concentration of the government. TX2 Tiger Conservation Awards. TX2 stands for Tiger ×2, signaling the doubling of population of tigers. TS, T tiger X into 2. Mean tiger population should be double by 2022. So this award is won by Pilibhit Tiger Reserve in Uttar Pradesh. Pilibhit Tiger Reserve. So you can also have another tiger reserve that is called as Pilibhit, that is in Uttar Pradesh, and award is given to them because they are successful in doubling its population. TX2 award is for the those places, those national parks where the population has been doubled. So they have doubled it, that's why they have got the award. Okay, another one we are having Kazi 106F, tiger variety. It's not a rice and paddy variety, it's a tiger variety, Kazi. It is India's only golden tiger. India's only golden tiger found in Kaziranga National Park of Assam. Kaziranga National Park of what? Assam. So very commonly I can say you that there is a mutation in their gene, not exactly mutation, it's whatever the brown or black stripes that you see on the tiger. Okay, for that a gene is required or not? A gene is required. That gene has become recessive and it looks all golden. No black stripes, no black or brown stripes, because the gene has not expressed its characteristic. Okay, and then you are seeing more population. If you are seeing more population of such, what does it mean? What does it mean? Another aspect. If you are having same kind is being produced again and again, same kind is being produced again and again, what does it mean? The variation that we have, our father and mother, both are human beings only, and all of them are having what? The same genes, except two different genes are there, right? 2 chromosomes are different. Because of that 2 chromosomes only, we are different from them. We are different from them. There is a genetic variation is there. What is there? Genetic variation. Otherwise, men or women, if they are having exactly identical, then you will have the exactly identical babies, just like father or just like mother. Understood? So if I want my clone, exact my genes should be there. Exact my genes should be there. Fine. So here also, why this particular tiger, we are golden tiger is there, and the new population of tiger are also in the same way. Why? Because they are doing inbreeding, means they are mating with the same kind. They are mating with the same kind of species. They are not mating with other species to get variation. That is the reason you are getting what? Same kind of tigers. Inbreeding, that is called as what? Very, very important. Inbreeding. Same genes. Tigers are having what? Exact similar genes. Then exactly you will get the same production, right? Okay, that's what. Tiger reserves in India, which received the accreditation of Global Conservation Assured Tiger Standards. Remember this point. This CATS is a standards related to CATS is a standard related to quality of a product. Okay, wetland information. Okay, and beach certification, tiger conservation, like that they will ask. Okay, CATS standards are related to tiger conservation. Fine. So tiger reserves in India, there are 14 tiger reserves which has been accredited with this, means conservation assured. Whatever the tiger standards are there, tiger standards means what? Minimum a tiger reserve should have this much of area. The area should have this much of population of prey. The area should have this much of water. The area should have this many, should not have any human activity. Means tiger standards are mentioned. You should follow that particular standards. So in our country, nearly around 14 tiger reserves are there which are meeting that tiger standards. When you meet the tiger standards, obviously the conservation will be assured or not? Assured. Okay, so the list of the given here. So Manas, Kaziranga, Orang in Assam. So by learning this, you can also learn about the wildlife national parks of that particular state also. Okay. Satpura, Kanha, Panna in Madhya Pradesh. Pench, Maharashtra. Valmiki, Bihar. Dudhwa, Uttar Pradesh. Sundarbans, very common, Sundari tree, West Bengal. Parambikulam, Kerala. Bandipur, Karnataka. Mudumalai, Annamalai Tiger Reserve. Mudumalai and Annamalai in Tamil Nadu. Mudumalai and Annamalai in Tamil Nadu. Very, very important tiger reserves. Always when you are noting down tiger reserves, national parks, wildlife sanctuary, do look to leave some space, so that like half page you leave, so that you can add later if any new tiger reserves have been announced by the government, or you have missed any of the existing also, you can just put it there. Okay. So every topic because it's a current affairs booster, so we are not going into the details of it. Otherwise I would have put the total chart itself. But this is a current one which is there in the news, that's why we have been restricted to learn this much only. But make sure that you are also keeping the spaces. Okay, because I don't want two books with you. Never ever do that. One book, spiral binding book you take. Okay, in that only you have tried. If you want to add data, then add more papers to that. But don't make 2-3 books. I will write current affairs separately. I will write static separately. Never will go into hand in hand. You will never do that. At least when you are writing the current affairs in the same book, you will at least revise something. Okay, at the beginning, some static concept, at least you will revise. And you know that, okay, if I study that book, that my job is done. At least you know this. Current affair and static write in only one book. If you are reading current affairs of environment, means current affairs static book only you have to write. Okay, environment static book. Don't make 2 books. That is not suggested. And also when you are writing, be completely focused, means in your backside of your medulla oblongata, you try to feel it, you try to feel what you are learning, you try to feel the words. Okay, this is what going inside my mind. Okay, Sundarban, West Bengal, Sundarban, West Bengal should go inside your mind, subconscious mind it should go. That much of concentration you should put, then you will never forget. Complete concentration. That's why we say no, study with focus 2-3 hours. It is equal to 6 hours of just glancing and having multiple thoughts. See what actually happens. This is also very important in the understanding of few things. Okay. Suppose if I am talking to you, if somebody gives me a water bottle, and if somebody gives me something in my hand and I am talking to you, and he's asking me to identify what is it. So I will be talking to you. Can I identify it? I'll be like, Chepura, what happened? Bolo bhai, kya hai? Aisa hai, acha hai. So can I identify it? Why? Because my electric signals are not making a proper shape. Because my concentration is divided. My concentration is divided. So when you are learning with distorted concentration, what happens is whatever you are learning will never go into your mind. You are learning, but you are not taking insight. Understood my point here? So it is very important that then you just stop it and you just say, completely you can say, it's a bottle you have given, it's a mobile phone you have given to me. Right or wrong? So focus is very, very important for the examination. 2-3 hours of proper concentration you put, you can do great things. So consider the following statements regarding the Intergovernmental Science Policy Platform on Biodiversity and Ecosystem Services. Okay, all of these are right, so all the above is your answer. Okay, it is an independent intergovernmental body. Independent is very, very important. It is one of the institutions under UNFCCC, under CBD, under CCD, under this protocol, that protocol. Wrong. It is what? Independent body. It is a independent intergovernmental body. India, Russia together, intergovernmental 3-4 like that. The United Nations Environment Program provides secretariat services to this. Means they can go and work and formulate things. They can go and work and formulate things. According to the recent report of this institution, there are around 1 million animal and plant species are now threatened with extinction. 1 million, almost like 10 lakhs, okay, are threatened with what? Extinction. Means we will never have in future ever seeing them living. Okay. Consider the following statement regarding the Tropical Solar Alliance. This is also, both of them are right only. Okay. Tropical Forest Alliance, not solar. Tropical Forest Alliance. Obviously, Tropical Forest Alliance. Countries which are in tropical areas. So it is a global public-private partnership action to realize opportunities based on reduced deforestation and also look into sustainable land use management in tropical forest countries. Sustainable land use management. Sustainable land means land you know anyhow. And on the land, the very important sustainable activity that you have to do is agriculture. Very important sustainable activity you have to do is agriculture. When you are doing agriculture, you have to protect the land, okay, from infertility. From infertility. Okay, you have to do that, and that is only called as if a land moves or degrades from productive to unproductive. If a land becomes from productive to unproductive, this process is called as desertification. This process is called as what? Desertification. When a land from productive to it moves towards unproductive. Okay, nothing but soil fertility is losing or not? That is what indirectly we are talking about here, right? Soil fertility is losing. Okay, it means our practices are not sustainable. Our practices are not sustainable. Sustainability always says that the whatever you start things, that start whatever the composition, whatever is there, whatever existing you are having at the start, at the end also the same thing should be there. At the end also the same thing should be there. Suppose you start in the month of June, the Kharif season, you start growing the seeds. Okay, then you will harvest. Okay, the fertility should remain intact. The fertility should remain intact. Then for the next season also the same fertility should be there. The same fertility should be there. And how you are going to quantify it? How you are going to quantify? Quantification is very, very easy. In this Kharif season, if my 1 acre gives me 10 tons, in the next season, in the next year, if it again gives me 1 acre 10 tons, what happened to my fertility? It remained intact or not? The same fertility I carried for the next year. Right? I may be using some methods where I am using chemical fertilizers, where I am using compost, where I am using manure, where I am using what? Biomass, right? Where I am using what I say is organic fertilizers. So I am trying to mix the fertilizers in such a way that the soil fertility remains intact because I was given the knowledge of it. So the importance is here only. The farmer should be skilled. Skilled in the way of doing agriculture. The way to do agriculture, that is called as agricultural practices. We call it as what? Agricultural practices. In agriculture, what practices we do? We do sowing is one practice. Tilling is one practice. Irrigation is one practice. Applying fertilizers is practice. Right? Maintaining conditions are also a practice. Harvesting is also a practice. Then clearing the ground is also a practice. Protecting the soil from running away is also a practice. How you are doing it? So you are asked to do agroforestry for that. You are asked to do what? Agroforestry. Within the crops you also erect some trees so that if any rainwater or if any heavy winds come, the soil, the topsoil should not go away. The topsoil should not go away. Right? These are called as land sustainability practices. Okay, that is why here it is written that it's an intergovernmental public-private partnership which is promoting what? Sustainable land use management. Sustainable land use management means land should be used for various purposes, but in a which way? Sustainable way. In which way? Sustainable way. Okay. So this is a common one. United Nations Convention to Combat Desertification. Cafe Coffee Day. When I was in graduation, this Bumarilu came. Okay, then every time I used to say my dad, Anta mere chesindru. Right. That was a very common dialogue in our homes. So when we were like, I guess you and me are having definitely like 8 to 9 years of gap definitely. So it's talking. I am talking about my generation. When like 2007 graduation started. So that time that was very popular. Many are there like that. Many are there. Okay, even we'll come to that. It's not about, remember, climate change. In climate change, you are not only asking the governments to be a part of the reduction of climate change or reduction of global warming or reduction of greenhouse gases. In climate change, whatever we will learn, whatever the initiatives are there, we are also asking the private people also to be a part of it. Okay, many are there, many such things are there. Okay. Total Forest Alliance, very important. So they are working towards achieving sustainable development goals. Okay, and also the objectives of what? Paris Agreement, and also to objectives of what? Paris Agreement. So Paris Agreement of 2015 means this is a climate change conference, of course held in what? Paris. Climate change conference, of course held in Paris, means UNFCCC convention held in Paris in 2015. Okay. So what is that they have told in this Paris Agreement? They have told that by this century we have to decrease the global warming, means the globe should not warm. According to Dr. Khuller, according to geography Dr. Khuller, okay, according to geography Dr. Khuller, he says that the average global temperature is 16 degrees centigrade. What is 16 degrees centigrade? Average, like Russia will be having minus, and India may be having 33, then Arabia may be having 43 also. When we take the average, then it comes to how much? 16 degrees. Okay, it is mentioned in that. So our job is to restrict the temperature rise by not more than 2 degrees centigrade, means we can afford up to 18 degrees centigrade by this century. Or it says that if it is 1.5 degrees centigrade, it is very nice. Try to achieve less than 1.5 degrees centigrade, but okay, 2 is also fine. Means either 18 or 17 and half. 18 or 17 and half. This is the window given to us in the Paris Agreement. If we are crossing this, it will create a havoc on the total countries. Okay. Now the question here is, this is what? Fine. See, we are having a river here. Okay. So this is the dash and it is having the floor. Indus is going, or Ravi is going. Okay. Chenab, all are going here. From centuries to centuries they are properly going, they are not coming out. Water is not coming out. Where I am standing, the water sitting, the water is not coming out. Means it has got a proper depth or not. Means this depth is suitable to the melting of glaciers, right or wrong? These glaciers are melting at 16 degrees centigrade from years and years. Global warming is how much? 16 degrees centigrade. These glaciers are melting what? At 16 degrees centigrade from centuries to centuries, and with that what happened? That melting, the same depression is sufficient. The same depression is sufficient. Now let's suppose it became 18 degrees centigrade. What will happen to the melting of glaciers? Rapid increase. Okay, then what will happen to this water? Come out. This is called as flood. This is called as what? Flood. Okay, then glacier is like this. Glacier is like this. When the faster melting of ice takes place, we say retreating glaciers. We say what? Retreating glaciers. Glacier is like this. When it continuously melt, it will come like this, no? This part will be melted, no? This is called as retreating glaciers. The more the conical means rapid climate change. Getting my point here? So that's why we say climate change will increase the sea levels. This is the levels are increasing or not? The same in Bay of Bengal. Let's suppose I am standing in the what I say is in Andhra Pradesh. I am standing here. I am standing here. Every day, like every year, I go to the Andhra Pradesh, and there I enjoy the Visakhapatnam, the beach. Okay, so water is coming and touching my feet here. But after 5 years, I am here. Water is coming till here. This is called as sea has eroded the land. This is called as sea erosion. This is called as what? Sea erosion. Now, what happened here? Maybe there is excess rainfall is there on that particular in that area. That's why the water is coming this much fast here till here. Understood or not? Water quantity became more in the center, maybe anywhere. Because of that, more flow, and it is coming till here. Before it used to push here only, but now it is also pushing till here. Increase sea levels. Increase sea levels because of excessive heating. Because excessive heating will lead to excessive evaporation of water, and you know that concept of normal lapse rate, etc. in geography, how rainfall happens, saturation point, dew point, etc., etc. You know all of that, and because of that, what happens? Of course, that more heating, the more it will fall. Understood? So climate change generally brings so we are trying to limit the, if it is 2 or 1.5 is very best, it seems. Okay, 2 is okay. 2 is okay, not more than 2. If more than 2 means all these phenomena, n number of phenomena are associated with what? Climate change. Now one more important concept here is, let's suppose 2021, in this 1 year, we have to emit only, all the countries should emit only 100 CO2 molecules. All the countries should emit only 100 CO2 molecules. In 2022, all the countries should emit 100 CO2 molecules. Like that, in 2025, all the countries should not emit more than 150 CO2 molecules, whatever it is, by 21st century, 2100, by 2100. So every year we have to limit our carbon emissions to this molecules, this molecule, this molecule. Set standards are there. Set standards are there. If we are doing this, we are able to do this. If you are doing this, we are able to do this. Let's suppose we are given 100 CO2 molecules for this year, but in August only we have emitted 100 CO2 molecules. In August only we have emitted what? 100 CO2 molecules, but in still September, October, November, December, 4 months are there. The moment we cross the mark, standard mark of emission, this is called as Earth Overshoot Day. It is called as what? Earth Overshoot Day. Means the rest of the year we are living on the expenses of next year's CO2 molecules. Now, understood? Means Earth Overshoot means you have used your limited molecules are over. Now whatever is there, the rest of the months of this year you are living on the expense of what? Next year. Understood my point here? Clear? This is called as Earth Overshoot Day. That's why in your books or in your current affairs you will see that our Earth Overshoot Day will generally come on different dates. Come on different dates. Why? Because it may happen that September 20th the countries have completed the given limitations. From 21 onwards, expense, we are living on the expense of next year. Next year it may happen that you may complete that given quantity, you may complete in March only. The next year it may happen you may complete in August only. Right? So that's why this day changes. Means it is a reminder to the world and the world governments that, see, whatever you are doing now, please restrict your carbon emissions because we are already living on the expenses of next year's. Okay, this is called as Earth Overshoot Day. Okay, so fine. So Paris Agreement is this, and Sustainable Development Goals, 17 goals we are having, 169 indicators. So 170 minus 1, 169, 17 you will get. 17 goals and 169 indicators are there. You will learn in detail, in environment you will learn in detail what are the 169 indicators, the major indicators. Okay, removal of poverty, extreme hunger removal, okay, that some objectives are there, some targets are there, this much percentage, that much percentage you have to reduce poverty, etc., etc. First goal is what? Extreme hunger, elimination of what? Extreme hunger. Okay, means at least 3 times food everyone should eat. There should be none in the country, none in the world, none in the country, none in the world, okay, where an individual is dying of hunger. Where individual is what? Dying of hunger. Okay, by 2030 every country have to achieve. Every country achieve means the world will achieve, right? So every country was given a task that no one should die of what? Hunger. No hunger. Means everyone should take 3 times a meal, right? So this Tropical Forest Alliance is funded by governments of Norway, United Kingdom, Netherlands, Germany, Gordon. So remember this point, and also one international organization we are having, that is World Economic Forum. Very, very important point here. Okay. Yes, please. So answer is neither 1 nor 2. Okay. Not only coastal and inland, man-made also. And second one is Ramsar. All states of India have Ramsar. No, Goa does not have. Okay. Goa and also Karnataka. Except Goa and Karnataka, all the coastal states have got some or the other Ramsar sites. Ramsar sites are nothing but the sites which are called as which are having wetlands. Which are having what? Wetlands, means lands are wet. Okay. Whenever you put a foot, then that land will go, dampness will be there, soil will be like very very loose, your foot go inside it, and you will see lot of bushes, lot of trees. Okay, it's like a crocodile wherever you see National Geographic Channel. No, same thing. Fine. Wetlands are classified into three categories: marine and coastal. Remember this point: marine and coastal, inland and wetland, and human made. Right. Types of species, again a very important topic. Dominant species, a very simple definition of dominant species: the species which is more in number, that's all. The species that is more in number. So most abundant species is called as dominant species. Important provider of food in food chain. Important provider of food in food chain. Okay, so can you tell me one dominant species which is important provider of food in food chain? Very good, plants. Plants. Food chain starts with them, right, and ends with tiger. Trophic levels. Trophic is nothing but feeding. Feeding is called as trophic. Trophic. PHIC. So plants. Highest percentage of total biomass, very common. It occupies lot of weight by area. Weight by area is called as what? Biomass. So when they are abundant, of course they will be having the largest biomass with respect to other species. Dominant species we say. Then second one is sentinel. Sentinel is nothing but giving us warning. Giving us warning of any air pollution is getting excess or water contamination is happening. So sentinel species, we call them as what? Sentinel species. So you can see that often animals are taken into consideration. Animals. So they give advance warning of danger to what? Human beings. Okay. So example is given here, canaries. They are the birds. They die early in the environment if they get excess carbon monoxide. If excess carbon monoxide is present in the environment, they die before us. So if they die in mass number, like 50-60 died at one place, then you can understand that carbon monoxide is more in the atmosphere. Concentration of carbon monoxide is more in the atmosphere. Okay. Carboxyhemoglobin. This information gives the miners to escape. Okay, the moment they see the birds are dying, they just have to fled away from that particular place, flee away from the particular place. So, and of course, as they are talking about something with related to environment and also about air, that's why they serve as an indicator of what? Ecosystem health or environmental health or air health, health of the air also, all are same. Then we have got flagship species. Flagship species, yesterday I have told you that it is a species which if generally it is chosen so that if it is protected, all other species will be protected automatically. That is called as flagship species. Okay. Used as a symbol by which people sympathize and protect the entire ecosystem. Thus, if we protect that, see, the tiger will be there, the elephant will be there, the deer will be there, the goat will be there. We cannot have the programs for separate species. Like if we try to say that everyone that here tiger is there, so we should not do any hunting. We should conserve that particular very, very beautiful tiger, we have to conserve it. So when people get this awareness to conserve a tiger, automatically all other species will be conserved and protected or not, right? So indirectly we are trying to protect every other species by just projecting tiger, okay, as one of the important species of that particular area. At least people for tiger, at least they do not do hunting and poaching. Okay, in hunting and poaching also you are having legal is called as hunting and poaching is illegal, so that criteria is also there. A act is there where hunting is properly defined, what is the meaning of poaching is properly defined. So some national parks you can, some animals you can do legal hunting, legally you can do that, so you will study that detail later. Okay, these species could be either vulnerable, very important, either vulnerable means they are about to extinct or they are critically endangered or threatened. So that particular species could also be presented as what, flagship species. Or the species could be a very charismatic, like in China you are having panda. Pandas are there, red pandas are there, they are not threatened, they are not vulnerable, they are having sizable quantity of it, but it is a charismatic, no, that's why they project it. So a flagship species could be a vulnerable species, could be a very good charismatic species. Okay, charismatic is nothing but when you see that species, you will be like, oh kitna अच्छा है. Okay, you will get the aesthetic feeling, थोड़ा खुशी मिलती, feel good factor seeing it. Okay, ecosystem services you will see this, right? Ecosystem services, in that recreational services are there, in that aesthetic value is there. In aesthetic value only, even you should not destroy the nature, right? Because there are some very beautiful sceneries also you will see, and you will see, after seeing that you will say what? Oh, this is a good factor, is also a service it seems. Okay, why do you go to movies? Whether the hero heroines will come out. Why do you go? To get a feel good factor only, no? Okay, it means for your feel good factor also you are paying. Right, your feel good factor also you are paying. You are also paying to just see a persons also. Like somebody is doing, like Jubin Nautiyal or Shreya Ghoshal doing a concert. You will just go and stand and jump. You don't know what you are doing. Okay, and she is not close to you also to see her. But even to see her or even to be present there, you have to pay. You have to pay. Fine. So even in circus also, even in zoo also, even in exhibition also. In exhibition you are paying for what you have not seen. In zoo you are paying for what you have not seen. See, for what you have not seen also you are paying for that also. In zoo and exhibition you will go and see new things, right? For that ticket is there. For a feel good factor also you are paying. For your eyes also you are paying. For your taste also you are paying. Different restaurants you are going for your delicious tongue. Right? Fine. And I don't know where to classify cigarettes. Which factor it will give? Cigarettes and alcohol. Feel good factor. A cigarette, I know it looks a little bit manly also, so people may get that masculinity, to show off the masculinity, to show off the manliness that guys do smoke. That is one reason. But apart from that, see, for this also, even you are a boy, but still you want to show what? Manliness. For manliness also you are paying. See, how is the irony? Manliness also you are paying. So whatever is at the end, what I want to say is, the moment you step out from your house, you have to pay. Okay, the moment you step out from your house, paise jeb mein rehna padta. Money should be there in the pocket, otherwise no need to go out at all. Because even for eyes you have to pay, tongue you have to pay. Okay, even for this Gana Bajana ears also you have to pay. Right, so we are having Project Tiger. Then invasive species, remember this point. Invasive species, with the name only you can understand, they are not a indigenous species. They don't belong to this land. They don't belong to this land. These are called as invasive species. Okay. And invasive species, generally the term is something very negative in itself. That invasive species means negative, but not all the negative invasive species are bringing out harmful impact. Remember this point. Invasive species could be harmful, they could be useful also, beneficial also. This is very, very important point. They may ask you in the examination that all invasive species are harmful. No, some are good also. Okay, and this invasive species are also not only introduced by humans, they also come across accidentally. Like ships are moving from one place to another place, one country to another country. So it may happen that they may come across that weeds are there, okay, seaweeds are there, sea grasses, sea plants are there. They might stuck to the ship and they may come to our land also. Possibility is there. That happened already. We are having like that hyacinth. Okay. So an invasive species is one which is generally living outside its natural past and present distribution. Okay, living outside its past and present distribution. All alien species are not harmful, but whenever they come, they are threatening the biodiversity. The harmful species are threatening what? Biodiversity. So because of that, there is lot of changes in the ecosystem and also the well-being. Okay. Some examples I have given here with regard to plant invasive species. Some examples are there here. Okay. Prosopis julifera, water hyacinth, snowflake corals and lantana. These are the very popular invasive species of plants in our country. Okay, then you are having animals also, like microorganisms also, bugs also, insects also. Papaya mealy bug, the total papaya will become white. Okay, the once this mealy bug will attack it, what will happen? The total papaya will become depressed and it will be cut off, and all white cotton like that will be there on that to the papaya. Amazon sailfin catfish and apple snail. These are the faunal species, these are the floral species. Okay, all these remain same even for the next 2 years also. Even if you are not preparing for next year, no need to worry about it. This will not go anywhere. The concepts always remains the same. Ketone species. If ketone means if this species is removed from the particular place, what will happen? All other species, many other species will extinct. Many other species will be harmed. Many other species will be harmed. Example here is, suppose we are having a grass. Listen to me properly. Suppose we are having grass. Grass is eaten by sheep. Sheep is eaten by tiger. Common sense. Suppose tiger is not there. Tiger is not there. Then sheep will run away all the grass or not? Right or wrong? So then many other organisms which depends on sheep start what? They will not get the this many small insects and all small organisms also live inside the grasses also. They will not get place to live also. They will be extincted. They will be died. Okay, and the grass will be totally taken away by the sheep, and sheep will also die without no grass. Why? Because tiger is removed. Because tiger was checking their population. Okay, you cannot become 10. I will make you below 10 only every time. Because this population should not increase, otherwise they will harm what? Grasses. Okay, and the grasses, then again, you know, the plants are harmed, then again the CO2 sequestration will not be there, carbon emission, all that. The environment will change totally. The landscape will change totally. Okay. So, it is a species whose addition or loss to an ecosystem will lead to a major changes in what? Ecosystem. The total ecosystem will undergo a change. Removal may distort the food chain. Removal may distort the food chain. Means food chain only, no? Grass, then sheep, then tiger. If tiger is removed, then the food chain will be disturbed or not? Disturbed. What is the answer? What is the answer now? Choose the incorrect code. Okay. Not incorrect means these three are yes. 1, 2, 3. Not invasive species. Incorrect. Yes. Incorrect. These are not. Incorrect. Incorrect will become yes. Okay. So this is what? Actually this is not a invasive species. Understood? Ulta, the other way of knowing the question. Come on, tell me the answer. Consider the following statement. Botanical Survey of India is trying to restore coral reefs in the Gulf of Kutch. Okay. Biorock technology is artificial technology for the creation of reef structures for the corals to grow. Okay, this is right. Everyone is agreeing to that. This technology though gives push to rapid growth of corals, but it requires continuous supply of limestone. Okay. So first of all, this is wrong. Why? Because why? Why? Because what? It's not botanical, it's Zoological Survey of India. Zoological Survey of India, because corals are animals. So Zoological Survey of India. This is right. There is a in the sea there is a structure is there that like this made up of limestone. Okay. This CaCO3, calcium carbonate, is very very important. If these shells are there, then the corals can grow. So we are creating artificially this CaCO3. Okay. So corals no need to, they will grow rapidly, because corals if they want to grow they need to have this supporting structure of made up of what? Calcium carbonate. They should have the supporting structure made up of calcium carbonate, corals to grow. When we are only supplying the calcium carbonate, which is exactly same what they are also manufacturing with their own skeleton, with their own exoskeleton, whatever they are manufacturing, we are also having the same composition of calcium carbonate, then they don't have to manufacture, right or wrong? When they don't have to manufacture means then they don't have to spend the energy. When they don't have to spend the energy, they will be asked to multiply rapidly. That's why this rapid is right, because we are only doing their half work. We are only doing the half work, but it requires continuous supply. This is wrong. Once it is created, it is self-repairing. It grows self-repairing. Once you do, that is enough. Once you do, that is enough. Understood? Understood or not? So what is the answer then? Only 2? Don't say that again. 1 and 3 are wrong, right? Incorrect code. I should have someone who will review my correct and incorrect. I'll make sentences right, I'll give options right. I will miss either correct here or incorrect there. Because this I will directly copy paste like from other slide. Every time I will not type 1, 2, no, directly I will copy paste. That's why again I will forget this. Next time I will do better. Right, Biorock technology also called as mineral accretion technology. Like mineral is here CaCO3. Mineral is here CaCO3. Zoological Survey of India, we are done with it. Composition of this CaCO3 is similar to what coral reef produces. Strength of this CaCO3 is very very good. Concrete like that. What is the walls like that? Very very good. gets stronger with age and is self-repairing. We don't have to continuously supply limestone. Self-repairing, grows on itself. Coral gets attached to this limestone structures and grows. They don't need to prepare what? Shell. They don't need to prepare shell. Generally, this particular structure is being built because corals are suffering from a process called as what? Coral bleaching, means they are losing their colors. Okay, generally corals means very beautiful, colorful fishes, plant fishes. Okay, they are not plants. Okay, plants are also animals also. They are called as sedentary. If you see a plant, sponges, they are not plants. Sponges, they are sedentary, means they are attached to one particular place. They don't move, but they are still animals. But they are still what? Animals, because of the features. Because of their features. When you study biology, then you will come across the total kingdom, phylums, families, etc. Then you will learn about them. This technology is not only used for corals. Remember this point very well. This technology is not only used for only corals. It is also used for what? Beach erosion, adaptation to sea level rise, oyster reef restoration, sea grass restoration, etc. Very important point this. Don't ever forget that this technology is limited. Its use is limited only for the coral reefs. Restoration means wrong. This technology is being used for many other purposes. Okay. Chalo. Recently, India has found a new coral formation in which one of the following bank? See, answer for this, Angria Bank. Okay, so Maharashtra, like 100 kilometers away, you will find a coral reefs. This we have found. Okay, it is like very unique to us because either we have found the corals near the coast or on the islands, but this is in the on the islands is different. This is a continuous coral reef itself, atoll. Okay, shallow submerged atoll island. Shallow submerged atoll island. Barrier. So we are having different types of reefs generally. So one which is close to here, like here coral will be there. This is called as barrier reef. This is called as, here the sand will be there, here you will find what? Corals. Okay, sand means beach, little bit of shallow water will be there, then you will find a little bit area here. Fringe. Okay, so barrier reefs, fringe reefs. Atoll means in the middle of the water. Atoll means in the middle of the water, if you find the corals, they are called as what? Atolls. Okay, so from our Maharashtra to 100 kilometers away, 100 miles away of the Maharashtra, you find a place that is called as Angria Bank. We are calling that particular place as Angria Bank, and when we found that one, so we have observed that it is a coral one. It is a coral one. Okay, but the thing is, you know that our territorial 12 nautical miles, right? 12 nautical miles, our territorial waters. So when we come to economic, when we come to exclusive, so you might be remembering this fact, right? How much is exclusive economic zones? Exclusive economic zones. What is the distance? 220. Okay, means territorial water means till this area Indian sovereignty is there. Means nobody can come, no ship, nobody can come into this particular area until and unless they don't take the permission of the what? Government of India. Exclusive economic zones means 220, like that. Okay, means here anybody can come, but the rights to utilize that resource to do any activity in this area will be with India only. But any movement of ships is possible. Only in territorial waters it is not possible, where you have to take permission. 12 nautical miles, they have to take what? Permission from Government of India. EEZ, you don't have to take permission to move your ship. The only thing is you cannot do fishing and all. You cannot do drilling and all. That rights are given to the country, respective country, with the convention called as UNCLOS. United Nations Convention on Law of Seas. Okay. So, as because it is not a part of, like it falls outside the territorial waters, we cannot declare that under any of the acts, because that acts will not run there, because acts can run only under what? Your territory. It is outside your territory, nothing but extraterritorial. Okay, so no acts, we cannot place this Angria Bank into our act. Okay, remember, but we can notify them under just Maritime Zone Act. That's all. The EEZ is outside the territorial water. That's why India cannot declare it as a protected area under Wildlife Protection Act. Okay, so we are expecting that this Angria Bank will become India's Great Barrier Reef. Declaration of areas, very important. Sanctuaries, who will declare? State government. National parks, who will declare? State government. Conservation reserve, who will declare? State government. Community reserve, who will declare? State government. Tiger reserve, state government will declare only on the recommendation of what? Tiger Conservation Authority, TCA. Tiger Conservation Authority, very important. If suppose a sanctuary is there here, wildlife sanctuary, Kerala wants to declare that particular sanctuary as a wildlife sanctuary, notify as wildlife sanctuary, a area Kerala want to notify as wildlife sanctuary. Suppose this sanctuary will also take some water also, territorial waters, then they have to take the permission from central government. Means that particular aspect is central list, no? Laws made, the boundary laws are all made by the central government. So if you are declaring any sanctuary or national park that is having some part of territorial waters are also a part of that your sanctuary, then you have to take the central government permission to declare. Right, same here. And conservation reserves are generally, they are declared, they are protected by state government and also by the local people. Local people will also be a part of that conservation committee. Okay, and all of them will be like local people will generally take care of that particular national park and wildlife sanctuary, they will conserve. Community reserve, state government may declare any private or community land not comprised within a national park or a sanctuary as a community reserve for protecting flora and fauna. Okay, community reserve, very important. Here you see any private and or any community land, either my land or like whatever the colony I am living. So our colonies will also nowadays will have a community park or not. Okay, so that land could also be declared, or my private land if it is having the importance of any flora and fauna. Let's suppose I am having a beach in Goa. So not a beach, I don't have a beach. Suppose on a beach I am having a very good resort or very good bog is there, very good, a big garden is there, like 10-15 acres. But what happens on that particular area, migratory birds from Serbia, from Middle East, they'll come and they will halt in my particular area and they'll enjoy the winter season. I cannot do hunting and all, it's gone. It's gone under what? Community reserve. Because flora, for fauna is then protecting fauna. So government can declare it as a community reserve because one of the fauna is being protected. Fauna is being protected. This is a very simple one. Keeling curve, the graph that represents the concentration of carbon dioxide in the environment. Keeling curve. Philip curve, you know. Inflation, unemployment. Unemployment decreases, 0. 10% is there. Unemployment decreases as we are having inflation. Okay, this particular phenomena is given by Philip. Okay, by studying the employment and inflation data of Britain. This graph is actually not a hypothesis. This graph is actually done on the basis of empirical evidences. What is that evidences? Empirical evidences means recorded data. Recorded data of Britain from last 2-3 decades. The Philip has taken the data and he has seen that What will happen when inflation increases to the what will happen to the unemployment when inflation increases? What will happen to the unemployment when inflation decreases? So he has arranged all the data and he got a curve like this. And he told that 0 to 10, as inflation increasing, 10 to 0, unemployment decreasing. Unemployment decreasing. Remember this point here. Okay. It's very common. Suppose I am having 100 jalebis. I am having 100 jalebis. Two people are working with me. How is the employment? Two people employment is there, 100 jalebis I am doing. Next year also 100 jalebis I am producing. Two people are working, 100 rupees I am getting. Third year also 100 rupees, 100 jalebis, two people are only working. When I should go for expansion? When this 100 jalebis price increases to 2 rupees, so 100 will become what? 200. 100 will become what? 200. To produce 200, these two people will not be sufficient, no? Because already two people morning to evening they are working for 9 hours, they are producing 100 jalebis only. That is the optimal productivity level. What is their level? Let's assuming, we are just assuming the example here. Their optimal productivity level, more than that they cannot work, they will kill us otherwise. Okay, this is the end of them. They said that is done. Price increases, 200 rupees. Okay, 100 will become what? 200. Then what he will do? He will go for expansion or not? He will go for expansion. So little bit inflation, let's suppose in the country 4 members are only there, 2 members are employed. The moment inflation happens, the 2 members will be robbed in or not? So unemployment decreases. Unemployment decreases. That's why RBI always say that there should be a band of inflation. You cannot have zero inflation in a country. Zero inflation will discourage investments. Zero inflation will discourage investment. That's why Urjit Patel committee says that you should have inflation levels under 2 to 6, 2% to 6%. This is the inflation band. This is called as inflation targeting. We are targeting the inflation. Okay, you should range only from 2 to 6 only. But they never said it should be 0. Why? Otherwise it will discourage what? Investments. If they don't get profits, more profits, why they will go for expansion? This was done by Phillips. Okay, Lorentz curve is again based on what? Empirical evidences. Lorentz curve is again based on what? Empirical evidences. It shows the inequalities in income and population. It shows the inequality in income and population. So this is the population, this is the income. 0 to 100, 0 to 100, right or wrong? Right or wrong? This is income. This is what? Population. Are you getting me? समझ में आया? 10% population, 10% income. 30% population, 30% income. 50% population, 50% income. 100% population, 100% income. So you will get a straight line or not? You will get a straight line or not? What is that I have done here? What is the analysis of this? What is the analysis of this? The analysis is very simple. What happened? Equal distribution of income. 20% population is holding 20% income, 30% population is holding 30% income. This is only called as DPSP welfare state, where the resources are distributed equally among the population. But no country will be like this. No country will be like this. All countries will have this problem. Okay. India will be like this. 90% of the population will hold only 10%. 90% of the population will hold only 10%. Only 10% of the population will hold what? 90%. Understood my point here? This is given by Oxfam Inequality Report. Very beautiful report. Every time they will show that how celebrities, how the rich people are exploiting us. Okay, just being inside TV. Okay, and earning crores and crores of rupee. So this is called as this, and this is called as what? Inequality only. income inequalities. So the more you go towards this particular straight line, what does it mean? Inequalities are decreasing. Inequalities are decreasing. So that is about Lorentz curve, Philip curve. Kuznets curve. Kuznets curve is very again simple curve. Okay, Kuznets curve says a very simple thing. He says that when he says about the economic growth, it talks about what? Economic growth and environmental degradation. Environmental degradation. He said that. Anyone? What he said? He said that when a country is going for economic growth, this way, no, economic growth, when the country is going for economic growth, they will achieve maximum degradation, destruction. But what happens over a period of time? This degradation will stop. It means there is a point will be there where maximum degradation will be there, means maximum economic growth will be there, maximum economic growth, maximum technological development, and one stage will come, slowly the technology will be so good, that will become environment friendly, and whatever the growth continuously happen but with lesser degradation because solar, wind, geothermal, that all will come into picture. This is Kuznets curve. Okay. Like very important, greenhouse gases information. Greenhouse gases information on them. Water vapor feedback mechanism, what is it? Water vapor gives as a feedback mechanism, what is it? Okay. So, more heating, more evaporation, more rainfall. More evaporation, more rainfall. So it means what? The more the amount of water vapor in the atmosphere, the more the global warming or not? Yes. And more the global warming means more the evaporation. More the evaporation means more the water vapor. More water vapor goes again up, falls down. So feedback. It will give what? Okay, I am going. I am emitting. I am a large quantity I am emitting. I will come back again as rain. Feedback mechanism. And the largest among all greenhouse gases in terms of quantity, water vapor, largest component of greenhouse gases. Then you are having carbon dioxide, a minor but very important component of atmosphere, means naturally it is present in a very minor amount, 0.03%, but very potent, because it stays for a long time. That is the problem. Water vapor goes, come down, gone case. Understood? This carbon dioxide is released through natural processes such as we are respiring, so our carbon dioxide is going off from our body, and carbon dioxide is also emitted through volcanic eruptions. And you can also see these are the natural processes, and we also have what? Human activities, like anthropogenic reasons are also there for the emission of carbon dioxide. Okay, so you can classify here because of deforestation. When you do deforestation, whatever the gas comes out, that is carbon dioxide. Land use changes, whenever you don't use the land in a proper way, then also the carbon dioxide comes out, and it is a very common thing. I don't have to tell you about this for sure. Then methane. Again, natural resources you will find in ruminant digestion, means cattle and all, when they digest and when they release the excreta, no, methane will come out. Okay, and human activities also it is there. When human activities, like when we go for decomposition of waste in landfills, agriculture activities, and especially I talk about many times this rice cultivation in my yesterday's class. Rice fields are the major emitters of carbon dioxide, methanes. Okay, fine. So methane is also natural, anthropogenic. Carbon dioxide also natural and man-made. Okay, water vapors is anyhow because of global warming, natural global, and remember this point, global warming naturally also happens, but at a very slow rate. Okay, whatever the temperatures were there before when the earth was born, the same temperatures we are not having. So centuries only 0.2% it will increase. Okay, but what we have done, we have increased the rate of in temperature, increase in the rate of temperature, we have made it faster. We have made it what? Fast. That is the reason. Everything faster only. More active greenhouse gas than carbon dioxide. Okay, but it is actually less in abundant. But actually it is less in abundant. When compared to carbon dioxide, it is less in abundant, but more potent than CO2 to act as a driving force for global warming. To act as a driving force for what? Global warming. More potent, but less in number. That's why less force, less driving force. Okay. Means it does not drive, it does not push the global warming. Why? Because less in number, less in number. Okay. So difference between carbon dioxide is a long-lived forcing agent, means it forces the global warming. Okay, long time it forces the global warming to rise. Okay, that's why it is long-lived. Whereas methane is what? Short-lived. That's why methane is more potent than CO2 but short-lived. That's why unable to become a bigger forcer for global warming. Bigger forcer for global warming. Okay. Then nitrous oxide, very common thing, produced by soils, cultivation practices, especially the use of commercial and organic fertilizers. So you can go through all of these sources of what? Nitrous oxide emissions. Okay. Very important greenhouse gases, all of this. Then chlorofluorocarbons. This is chlorofluorocarbon. Okay, I am enjoying this whatever is there, but the backside whatever is happening is CFCs and HFCs. CFCs are more dangerous, that's why we have changed it to HFCs. Now HFCs also we are having problem. We have to get rid of what? HFCs. All these CFCs, HFCs are a part of what? Ozone depletion. Part of what? Ozone depletion. Montreal Protocol. First Vienna came, Vienna followed by Montreal, Montreal followed by Kigali. You learn. Okay. They are a sequence where ozone was taken into consideration and targets. So evolution of what? Ozone protection. So gases released from various cooling equipments. Gases released from various cooling equipments. Okay. Yeah, this is the last, I guess. Global climate finance, very important again. Okay. So global climate finance. What is this for? To decrease greenhouse gas emissions. The finance is used for to decrease what? And this is Global Climate Change Fund. Okay, I guess that should be the right one, but still I'll confirm. Okay, just message me. So this fund is used to decrease greenhouse gas emission, this is first point, and generally catering to what? Developing and vulnerable countries. Developing and vulnerable countries like India, we use a lot of fossil fuels. So they will give us some money and they will tell us that, okay, you also have a wind power plant, you also have a solar power plant. So please reduce your greenhouse gas emissions. Take this money. Take this money. So given only for whom? Developing and vulnerable countries. Very important. This is the point of twist in the examination. Okay. And this particular fund was initiated in the Cancun Agreement. UNFCCC continuously conducts what? Various conferences. Okay, so there was a meeting held in what? Cancun. Okay, it's I don't know what is that city, which state, which country it belongs to. Cancun is a city. Cancun is a city. So when climate change convention happened in Cancun, okay, so in that Cancun, all the conference of parties, means whoever are subscribers to United Nations Framework for Convention on Climate Change, India, Pakistan, everyone was there. So they agreed, okay, we will have a global climate fund. Okay. Then we are also having adaptation fund. Adaptation fund. Adaptation fund means, as you know, that sea erosion will happen. Okay, we are sure that okay, some or the other way sea erosion will happen, lesser or more. Okay, so to stop that we can use, like you might have seen that various like big stones will be there near the beach, right? Okay, so why? Because the water should not come inside it. So to build such structures, money will be given. That is called as what? Adaptation. Means anyhow the climate change will happen, anyhow the global warming little bit something will increase for sure, so let you adapt properly. And also, like anyhow there is a possibility is there because of climate change excess rainfall may happen, there is a possibility is there because of climate change drought may also happen. So they will give fund, they will give money to fund the genetically modified crops. So they wanted to have crops which are like drought resistant, mean they will resist the drought, don't supply water, we are well. Drought resistance or water tolerable, water tolerable. So you have to adapt it, you have to be resilient. Resilient means you have to be fighting, you have to be fighting. So for that purpose the countries will be given what? Adaptation. From the adaptation fund they will be given what? Money to adapt themselves, go and adapt yourself. Okay, then this adaptation fund has seen or you can say come to the light in the year 2001, where we had a Kyoto Protocol meeting. Kyoto is in Tokyo. So here in Tokyo, that is a city called as Kyoto, there all the countries again met and this fund was activated. This fund was activated. Then third one, Global Environment Facility, GEF, very important one, GEF, Global Environment Facility. World Bank is a trustee. Okay, World Bank is the trustee. It is an operating entity, means it operates the fund. It's a private equity fund also. In this fund, Tata Birla money will also be there. Okay, but focused on what? Long-term financial returns by investment in clean energy. By investment in clean energy under climate change. By investing in clean energy under climate change. If Somalian wants to decrease the global warming, they want electric buses. They want electric buses. So in Somalian, one company wants to go for electric buses. One company wants to manufacture electric buses. Then in GEF they will be given. In GEF they will be given. And in GEF, let's suppose 100 crores are there. In GEF, how many crores are there? 100 crores. Tatas are 10 crore rupees. Tatas are there, 10 crore rupees. Ambani's money is there. 20 crores are there. This 20 crore rupees, from this 20 crores rupees also will be given to Somalian manufacturer or not? Yes, because he is using the GEF. He is using the GEF facility. So that money also belongs to private investors or not? Okay, when he invests and when he get the returns, he has to pay to these people or not? Okay, so one point what is happening, we are encouraging private investors to come into climate change process. And another point what we are trying to do, we are trying to decrease what? Global warming or greenhouse gas emissions, right? And this fund is not only catering to this, it also actually funds many other. It looks after the funding of Convention of Biological Diversity, United Nations Framework for Convention of Climate Change, Stockholm Convention of Persistent Organic Pollutants. Persistent organic pollutant means these are the pollutants which does not go away from the atmosphere that easily. They will persist, they'll stay. Okay, to remove this, because obviously we do a lot of activities, because of this only these particles are there in the atmosphere for a long period of time. That's why Stockholm Convention is related to this POP. In this convention they said that we should not get into those processes, we should not develop those products or those processes where we emit POPs, where we emit pollutants that can exist for long period of time. So that processes, that products has been eliminated from the market. That is the goal. And United Nations Convention to combat desertification and Minamata Convention. So you can see there are five funds, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 conventions will be funded from GEF. 5 conventions will be funded from GEF. Okay. And it also manages Special Climate Change Fund, which came into year 2001, and it also manages least developing country fund. So please do remember GEF is a very important facility. GEF is a very important facility. Right, so India's climate finance. We are having two funds here, National Clean Energy Fund, National Adaptation Fund. Okay, National Clean Energy Fund, you can understand it is to promote clean energy only, nothing but renewable. Okay, and in this fund, how the money you will get? The government will having clean energy fund, that fund, this bucket will be there, this account will be there, a savings account of this fund will be there. So, on coal, government is collecting carbon tax. Government is collecting what? Carbon tax. So that all that taxation money will go into this fund. And from this fund, as because you are doing lot of carbon emissions, this fund will be utilized to promote clean energy, again trying to achieve carbon neutrality or not? Try to achieve carbon neutrality. Okay, very important point here. Always remember, this fund is under finance minister. Everyone thinks well, this is a part of Ministry of what I say is environment and forest or Ministry of climate change, like that. Environment, forest and climate change both are one. It also gives money for the research and development in clean energy technologies. Okay, or any technologies that is not fossil fuel based. That is not fossil fuel based. Remember this point, very important fund. Then we are having National Adaptation Fund. 2014, to fund the gap between need and available funds. Like we want to have 10,000 electric buses, no? That is our need, but we are deficient. So from this fund it will be taken. Okay, National Adaptation Fund. To fund the gap between need and available funds. Whenever there is a need is there but funds are not there with the ministry, okay, to go for any of the adaptation methods. Okay, so they can use this fund. From this the money will be taken and that will be promoted. So this fund is under Ministry of Environment and Forest. That is not capital N, that is small n. Environment and Forest. So it's all clear. So whatever the material is there, that will be uploaded in your portal and also in the Telegram group. So don't need to worry about it. So whatever the rest of the doubts if you are having, please do ask me. I'll be more happy to help you out in any way. Fine. We'll again meet on Sunday or any other day. So to see something very good. We have already done 4 classes. A very big current affair boosters we have done. Okay. Though I hope that questions do comes in the coming prelims for sure, whatever we have learned. But make sure that you are maintaining all the records with you, whether it is booster or whatever it is, concepts and etc. things will be the always same. So thanks a lot and take care.